All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Let's Play Minecraft with Cryan Mo. How you guys doing this week? It's been quite a while since I've recorded. I don't know why I do this with the camera all the time when I'm waving around like I'm talking and nodding my head, but it's just probably annoying to move the camera like that. Anyway, so I'm getting back in the groove here. I literally haven't recorded in probably 3 weeks at this point. 2 weeks? 3 weeks? Something like that. Anyway, I've been doing some design work in between editing day job stuff, and I've done a couple of things here, but not really anything major. Haven't built anything major, but I collected some resources, stuff like that. Case in point is I went around one day and just set up and tore down multiple quick little sites of where did I put that stuff? Quick little sites of flower farm type things. I didn't literally just pistons and and went and got a bunch of flowers, got a bunch of orange tulips, all the tulip colors. I think I was running low, got a whole bunch of cornflowers. This farm, I actually ended up, the closest meadow that we have here to Axe Harbor is right over here next to the pillager outpost, and it's like right next to it. So I was fighting off some pillagers and stuff while I got the cornflowers for blue dye. All right. Today, we're going to start off, we're going to get to work right away. There's a couple things we want to do. Yeah, there's going to be the main build, which is another house. And this house is going to be for the Cartographer. And the build, the design is actually a modern house. I didn't go with the medieval style. I just went with something like super slick modern looking, which I think looks cool. I don't know. We'll see. But we're going to head to the Nether right now because the first thing we're going to do is knock out what I hope will be a nifty slime farm. I haven't looked at any slime farm designs or anything. I just want to go and test out this. I want to go and test out the parameters. The spawning rules say that slimes will spawn at light level 7 and below in a swamp from Y levels 50 to 70, which means no other mobs will spawn because they need light level 0. So, and moss, or what is it, lichen? Glow lichen is light level 7. So I'm thinking if I could just make a little platform. Anyway, we'll get there. We'll talk about that stuff. What am I doing in here? I already forgot. Oh, yes. Let's take a look. So this guy, this is our Unbreaking 2 villager who I was so frustrated with last time. Not him personally, but just the re-rolling of the trades so much, and I settled on the Unbreaking 2. While I traded him up to a master level, I think he's got a little belt loop or something that denotes he's like a master level tradesman now. But he turned out to be a pretty valuable dude, and I designed a cool house for him. He's going to be our mad scientist kind of librarian dude, because check this out. So we got Unbreaking 2 bookshelves we can buy. It's always nice. We can trade books for 1 for 1 is great, but look at these other books. So Frostwalker 2, which I probably won't ever use Frostwalker, to be perfectly honest, but we also got Fortune 2, which is fantastic, right? Double those books up, same as Unbreaking 2. We get Fortune 3, so kind of don't need an Fortune 3 villager. And then to just, cherry on top, how about a little Aqua Infinity? Sure. Those were all on my list of books to grab. So yeah, he turned out to be pretty cool. So we'll see next week or next episode. I shouldn't say next week because who knows when it will come out, but the next episode after this one will be his dwelling. I like to find different words for house. Abode, dwelling. Anyway, we're going to go to the Nether. We're going to cruise over to the swamp. Of course, I don't have a Nether tunnel. I have a very, it requires a strider to cruise over to the Nether. That's my Nether hub sort of setup, is using striders. But I do want to do a couple things when we get over there. But yeah, let's go. Let's take a little walk through the Nether, and we'll have a little chat. Maybe today's topic of the day will be at the top of the episode. I don't know. I just kind of want to chill and chat because I haven't oh, I'm not going this way. I have a plan for this right here. Yeah. Someday we'll get to it. Yeah, I haven't chatted with with you guys in a while. To me, it feels like, because I haven't, I've been stacking those episodes. So anyway, it's been a while, and I did have a topic of the day today, and it's kind of a weird one. But we'll get to that in a minute. I gotta stay on the ball here, because the nether's out to kill me, right? The nether's out to kill Grind Mo. We don't want to die over here. So I do have a little button there and a piston to help us get in and out of here, but I thought I should maybe, dress this up a little bit. All right, so for today's discussion, today's topic of the day, I thought I would talk about something I've been thinking about. Well, it's always, the discussion's always about something I have been thinking about. So I was thinking about this concept. So I guess today we're going to do the topic of the day is at the top of the episode, first half of the episode, rather than the middle or at the end or whatever. But anyway, I'm just going to roll with it. It's Grind Mo. Just doing my thing. Just doing a little jibber jabber. When I feel like it. Okay, so the topic of the day today that I wanted to bring up is being wrong. Being wrong. This is a kind of I don't know, it's kind of a wide-ranging topic, but it's just this idea that I've been thinking about, that I don't feel like growing up we're taught necessarily. I mean, if your parents teach you certain things, then maybe that takes care of some of this, but I don't think in schools we don't learn. There's a lot of stuff we don't learn in schools that we probably should learn. Number one is finances. Whatever. There's a lot of things in school that we probably should be taught that we're not taught, and a lot of concepts we spend time on learning that aren't necessarily as necessarily relevant in regular life. But anyway, but there's this concept of being wrong. And from my own personal experience, to put myself in my place, growing up and even up to today, I have always had, and I've been working on trying not to have quite the aversion to just general embarrassment. Like, being embarrassed, even slightly for me growing up was so sort of horrendous. I really, really disliked it. I still dislike it. It makes me, I sort of have like an involuntary reaction to being embarrassed, kind of like a reaction that makes me sort of want to struggle to not be embarrassed, or whatever. It's being embarrassed is being embarrassed. It's called a thing. Now, what does that have to do with being wrong? And when I say being wrong, I mean like being wrong about kind of anything. And from personal experience, for myself, I know that I went through and am still probably coming out of a very long, lifelong phase of, I guess maybe trying to be right, or, having to be right. It's kind of painful to talk about it in these terms and kind of put myself out there like this, but I do acknowledge that there is something I've always had in my personality where it's like, oh yeah, I dislike being wrong. I dislike being embarrassed. I dislike that stuff. And so sometimes it would result in, I remember in my 20s, sometimes I would argue ridiculous points, just nonsense that I knew was maybe incorrect, or at least fuzzily incorrect, that I would try to push certain points just so that I could be right. And I've really tried to work on that. I do feel it's like a tough thing. I think it's a tough thing to learn how to be wrong, to be graciously wrong. Like, it has to be okay for us as human beings to be wrong, because we're wrong a lot of the time, and that's just part of nature. It's part of being a human being, right? You cannot be right about everything, because you can't. It's impossible. You can't learn. Like, if we were always right about everything, we would never learn. There'd be no learning. We would already know everything. Whatever. There's all this stuff, right? So being wrong is like an intrinsic part of being a person, being a human being, and it's, I think, very, very difficult. As we all know, I feel we can all relate to this, that being wrong is kind of tough. It makes us feel lesser than, or it makes us feel embarrassed, or it makes us feel like, I mean, feel like when you're wrong about something, it's kind of sometimes difficult to own up to that or to just admit it. And I think there's a lot of things that go on in the world, not just today, like just in human history, where, if we knew how to be wrong, and the other side of that coin, the other side of this concept is being gracious towards someone when they do admit that they're wrong. Like this whole, there's a lot of people that, will react to someone who maybe admits that they're wrong or discovers that they're wrong about something, and they might, like rub it in, like it makes you feel good to like lord it over somebody, like, you were wrong, you're stupid, whatever. And we can all like relate to that too. We all can feel these sorts of emotions and stuff. But I do think, for me personally, I do wish that I could get better at being wrong, better at admitting when I'm wrong, and being open to new ideas. I think a lot of what we see today, which I don't really think is necessarily like just about today's day and age. I think this is like a human history thing, where it's just like the idea of being wrong is fundamentally like it fundamentally causes maybe some altercations, or it causes like a closed-mindedness, right? Like somebody might just want to not even consider someone else's opinion or someone else's point, or some evidence here or there or whatever. Like you get in this mode where you can't be wrong, so you're just going to discount this stuff or not pay attention to it or whatever. And it's wide ranging, it's kind of everywhere. But I think I found that there's some, when I've been able to admit that I'm wrong about something, sometimes it actually is a very liberating feeling, like it actually feels kind of good if it can happen in a nice organic way, where the other, whoever you're being wrong with or whatever, if they're gracious about it as well, it's like it's kind of like an uplifting thing. And then of course you learn something. If you admit that you're wrong about something, then you can understand that you're wrong about something, and then you can open your mind to learning a new thing or learning something new, whatever. And that always feels good. And I mean, sometimes there are very, very fundamental things that we believe, and I have this whole thing about beliefs, right? That's a whole other thing, right? But there's a lot of times things that we believe are a certain way, and then if we have to admit that we're wrong about something, it could shake certain fundamental things that you feel are fundamental, right, to your being, right? Oh no, I can't be wrong about this. Like if I realize this thing is wrong, I've been wrong about this one thing my whole life. Oh, that's like crazy time. Like that means it's going to collapse my entire personality or my whole structure or the whole viewpoint of the world. But I don't think things are really ever quite as dramatic as we make them out to be in our heads, So anyway, I just wanted to talk about this being wrong thing. I don't know why. I just felt like I wanted to chat about it. Most of these chats, that I bring up are kind of just, I know I'm talking to you guys, but they're really kind of like the gestation or the kernel, that the inspiration for me to even talk about something is really just because I need to sort of talk something out or work something out or whatever. Just, it's coming from inside my mind to like, oh, maybe I need to develop this further, and talking about it kind of helps sometimes. If we could learn how to be wrong about something, if we could learn how to interact with people and how to socially construct ways to both be wrong about something and be the person who's right, and accept someone else admitting that they're wrong in a gracious manner, not to belittle this other person or whatever, just to understand that, hey, so that person was wrong about something, that I should be able to identify with that, because even if I'm right in this particular moment, there's a 100% chance that I am wrong about a multitude of other things that I don't know that I'm wrong about, or that I'm subconsciously sequestering the knowledge of being wrong about certain things. There's an interesting concept. I don't know what it's called, but I could actually illustrate it with Minecraft blocks. So here we are in this, I don't know what this is, some world I called design world, and I never really used it to design things, but we can just build something in here. Not build something, let me just use some Minecraft blocks. So let's say here we have, so this is an illustration of this interesting concept about human knowledge and about what you know and about what society knows, and like humans as a group and down to an individual. I mean, you know, everything's a fractal, right? Everything translates from large to small or whatever until you get to the quantum range, and then things get weird. Okay, let's just do this really quick. We'll make a little square. There we go. Now, this sandstone block is going to represent what we know. Okay, this is like stuff. Let's say we know 2 times 2 equals 4. Maybe somebody would argue with that. I don't know. Let's say this is lapis lazuli is blue. Okay, right? So this represents our knowledge, and it represents the amount of things that we know that are actually correct. On the outside of this area is another, like a sort of a fuzzy border, right, of knowledge that bleeds from what we know that is actually true. So what we know being subjective and is actually true being objective. So this is knowledge that we do know that is objectively true. And then we phase out from what we do know into what we don't know. So the dark lapis blocks here, deep slate lapis, represents, you know, an area of all the stuff we don't know. Now, of course, building this is kind of, if I was using I've never used World Edit, so I should probably like learn how to use that, because it would probably make things like this much, much faster. So I'm not going to like expand this as large as it should be, but you can imagine that the lapis represents all the knowledge, all the things that are objectively true. Even that's a weird statement, because true. Anyway, we could get into that whole philosophical argument about what's true and is there truth or whatever. Anyway, but the lapis represents all of the knowledge in the universe that we do not know, right? This is stuff that we do not know or understand. So the redstone blocks represent the little fuzzy transition from the knowledge that we do know that is objectively true into areas of darkness, mystery that we don't know, right? And what this red stuff represents, what this border here, it represents things, knowledge that we think we know. We think this piece of knowledge is correct, but it's actually incorrect because we don't actually understand it fully. And now this is an actual, like, not just a philosophical concept, but it's actually like a legitimate concept, right? Like you might start studying chemistry. I don't know why chemistry is the subject. You start studying chemistry and you might know like this thing right here, the very basic thing about chemistry, you might know it for sure and it's provable and you know that, but then you're starting to branch out and to learn new things. And to get to this spot where to the stuff you don't know, you go through this little phase of like, well, here's some things that you think you know, but they turn out to be wrong. Like, you have to learn, right? Oh, that is wrong. I have to adjust. And then, eventually you do learn something. You do learn to be like an objective truth, right? Like, okay, this is a real thing. I learned it. So sorry, let me reset this and let's draw this border back in. So as you can see, there's a mathematical correlation to this diagram, right? The area of things that we don't, the area of the stuff that we think we know, but that we actually do not know, that we are incorrect about, is mathematically correlative. It's in relation to the amount of knowledge that we do know. And out here, everything else, you have to imagine, everything else out here is just, in fact, I should have just used these blocks, but everything else out here is unknown, right? It's unknown stuff. Now, let's say you're learning your chemistry or whatever you're studying, and you learn a bunch more knowledge. of real stuff, like stuff that's solid that you actually do know, stuff that is true or whatever, and it is fundamentally true. So as you gain more knowledge, right, the area of what we think we know but we're actually wrong about also expands, right? So now, you know, before we started learning in our little chemistry classes or whatever the allegory is that I'm using here, and now our knowledge expands, right? So we know this stuff. Our area of knowledge expands, but so does our area of knowledge that is suspect, right? Because now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now there's 7, 14. Now there's 24 blocks of area of knowledge that we think we know, but that we're wrong about. And so this idea is like it's all relative, right? So it keeps expanding. So every time we learn something new, we expand our knowledge base out, right? We learn something new. It puts us literally in a spot where there's now even more things that we think we know, but we don't actually know, that we're actually wrong about. And it's right in here in this area where this whole idea of being wrong really comes to play, right? Because it's like you think you're right, but really you don't know the full story yet. You don't know all the research. You don't know all the facts or whatever. But it's like, you know, there's that adage, right, of knowing just enough to hurt yourself, right? Like knowing just enough to get in trouble. Like if you know a little bit about working on cars, but you don't actually know like everything about working on cars, you can quickly like start to work on something on the surface, like you're taking apart an engine, not taking apart an engine, but you might start but you might like get in real deep real quick where you're like, oh, I knew enough to get this far, but now I've taken my engine apart. I don't know how to put it together. I don't know how to put it back together. You know just enough to hurt yourself, right? Just enough to get in trouble. And that's kind of what the red block area represents. So I think that's a fascinating concept. This idea of the area that of things that we think we know that we're wrong about grows exponentially with our actual knowledge base. As our personal knowledge grows, so does the area where we're just wrong about stuff. That was my talk for the day. That's my topic of the day. Being wrong and how it sucks. It sucks to be wrong, but it's unavoidable. So I personally, as an individual, hope to, you know, in my journey through life, I hope to keep learning and keep getting better at certain things. And that's one thing I'd like to get better at. I'd like to get better at being wrong about something. And the quicker that I find out that I'm wrong about something, the quicker I can learn new stuff. And that's actually a key. To me, that's like a key incentive, right? To be wrong about things, to that it's okay to be wrong about things, you know. And I'm going to try, you know, going forward in life, I'm trying not to push things that I think that I know so hard. You know, I used to do that in my 20s and 30s. Like, I know this for a fact and blah, 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 blah. And I know this and this is how you do it. This is whatever. And I would just like push really hard, you know, on certain things just to find out that, oh yeah, I was mistaken. I did not know the full picture about certain things. So I really want to work on that in my own life. And I'm just curious, like what you guys think about that, what you guys think about being wrong. And I don't know. Anyway, it's just something I want to chat about today. So I guess that'll wrap up today's topic of the day. Oh, you're kidding me. Come on. Oh, this is going to be tough. How does one do this? Oh, I know. I could just land on the top. There we go. That's a smart thing to do. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm going to AFK here just for one night and then add it. Well, I didn't check the chest down there yet, so we'll see. I did light it up a little extra with torches around the edges to fill in, to kind of even make some of this stuff hopefully less spawnable to the slimes. And I did also add I extended the platform inward 3 blocks. So we'll see. So that when they spawn, they should be a little closer to to Mr. Gollum. Let's see if they dive in for a swim. And what's happening? Oh, there goes one. There goes one right there. I didn't think I I didn't light it too far in. I wonder. Oh, there we go. So a couple more there. They're just spawning less because it is like it's waning. The moon is waning, right? Yeah, it's waning. So there'll be less spawns. But hey, that's pretty good. That guy found him. Jumping right in. Super cool. There goes another one. All right. I mean, it's this pretty decent little farm here. I mean, it's pretty simple. Now, the idea of this farm, too, like, this doesn't require a super tiny... wow, that's a bunch of slimes down there. It doesn't require a super tiny swamp. You specifically could do this literally in any swamp biome, as long as you just come up to this height. What I was saying was that you don't need a super tiny swamp. You can do the same type of thing in any kind of swamp, and it's just about lighting up the area around it so that other mobs don't spawn. So to be perfectly honest, I should probably, if I drenched these mountains in water, covered them in water or something, because that'd be maybe easier than lighting them up. They're not that big. I don't know. Spend an hour and light up all this area. Then, I think if I lit up everything out here on the surface, there's still caves. So things would still hit the mob cap by spawning in the caves. But then there would just be this isolated swamp area that's all lit up where only slimes would spawn. And they would spawn pretty quick, even if I was down on the ground, if everything was lit up to 128 blocks around. But that's a lot of lighting. That's kind of crazy. Let's get on with, I put together right here. There we go. So I've got 2 shulkers that have the materials for the build that we're going to do now, which is our cartographer's house. His modern, sleek, modern design, sort of. We're going to put the cartographer's going to live right back in here, and so we can kind of see it from... I don't know if we'll be able to see it from the house, but anyway, it'll be a nice new roof line. I love the roof lines, but yeah, we're gonna get started here, and let's go to work. another building built. Got another villager moved into the village. Or, another resident of Axe Harbor. I do dig it. It's a little different. It's always a little different seeing the builds that, you design in a flat, creative world put into the actual world. Of course, we need to, engineer some paths that go up, some decorative pathways, of course. I wanted to have some chimney smoke coming up from there, and I couldn't figure out a way to do it with a 4 wide or 2x2 block, 2x2 square thing. Structure. 2x2 doesn't really work for hiding a, some fireplace type thing. But anyway, yeah, so we have our, our glass and wood construction with our modern sort of slanted roofs, offset sort of things. It's all glass, and I thought that would be kind of cool. This guy is a little rambunctious for the slick cartographer that I thought he was going to be. I thought he would be a little more, studious, a little more designy. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So we'll go inside. I really like this cyan terracotta as the flooring. That felt super modern. I don't know. And then of course he's got a what is this, disc player, a record player, jukebox. He's got a jukebox and a couple of speakers and a couple of paintings. That one's a little, you know what, now that I see this one, I think maybe we should change that to, maybe that should be something a little less, the color scheme worked good. Maybe that's interesting. It needed to be something a little less, medieval and a little more modern, maybe even modern artsy. I don't know. Anyway, I really like this technique of putting a live coral down. We hide some water down there inside the stair block. That works really nice. Super like sort of modern art sort of thing. This maybe competes with that a little bit. I think maybe if it's going to be in here at all, we should put it over here a little bit. I originally built this up with the idea of not putting any of the flowering leaves anywhere, but seems like a little bit works in here. I think that's a little better over in the corner. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, cool. This technique, of course, is pretty standard in a lot of the quote-unquote modern builds I've seen, using the dead coral here, the fans for carpets, fluffy rugs, I guess. This is super dangerous. Put your fluffy rug right next to your fireplace. This guy's cool. He lives dangerous. I waxed all these things up here, so that's pretty cool. They'll stay copper. That feels modern to keep the copper waxed. And then this was sort of a fluke when I put these together, like sliding doors. I thought that was kind of cool. So I ended up using it in 2 different spots here. I like that. That could be something different. Doesn't have to, that maybe doesn't work so well. This little guy could be a different splash of color, but for now it's in there with an acacia leaf. Anyway, yeah, it's cool. A little bookcase, a little library, a little couch in front of the fire. Got his workshop in here. It's kind of like he can kind of roam this house actually because of the iron doors. He can't really get out, so we could give him free reign actually, which could be kind of cool. I don't know. So we get, he has a map here on his light box. He's got his glow frames, kind of like a light box, right? I feel like this map is not oriented. Yeah, that's supposed to be that way. This is actually a map of our area, but it's like level 2, maybe level 3. I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway, now it's starting to be nighttime. We'll take a little nap. So yeah, that's it. That's his little house. It's not super big. I kind of maybe made it a little smaller. I mean, it feels good as far as size goes and everything. I really like all the glass. Oh, I need to sleep. There's not enough light out here. I haven't lit up this area appropriately. So there's going to be all kinds of creepers out here. I should start throwing down some torches just because we want to keep, because of all the glass. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about there's got to be some light coming in here. But anyway, I do like all the glass. I do think it looks super modern. I went with the light stained gray. I don't know. Seemed cool. Better than clear, Clear would have worked fine. I could have put in other colors, but I thought the light stained gray kind of fit the roof tile patterns and everything. And then, of course, we have our little little pathway here that walks over to our sort of Zen garden-esque map display area. We've got a cool little bench. I don't usually do things with all these little benches and all this stuff, but it's kind of cool. But yeah, this little thing here, I was kind of looking for something to fill in this space, and I was just going to put like some leaves, maybe a little garden, and for whatever reason, it just developed into this little like sort of Japanese spa type thing with the acacia wood. I think it works really great. And then this here is just like, I thought, oh, he's probably got a towel. Like a steam room or something. He's got a little towel hanging out. You got a little chair where you can chill out if we could sit in chairs. I know there's data packs for that. And when you want to heal up, you know, shed the worries of the day, get out your stress, you got to come down in here into the nice warm water and just hang out, chill out. Yeah, it's cool. You got a little bit of privacy, you know, from the house. And, oh, I guess I can't walk between the lily pads, which work really well. I like this randomized texture here with the smaller lily pads. There's like I think 6 or 7 different randomized ones that mix with the real ones. That's just a texture pack sort of thing. I really like this effect. This is a super cool effect. I've, of course, seen a lot of YouTubers use this. Anyway, so yeah, let's go down here. So I did bring some maps over. I thought this little modernish sort of bench sort of thing worked well. I don't know. This all just sort of came together. I feel like it works pretty good. Colors work pretty well together. This house probably could have been done in, man, just because there's no lights out here doesn't mean you're invited to the party, dude. Oh, you're running away from my axe, are you? Fleeing? You fleeing the axe? Yeah, I got to start dropping torches out. There's just not enough. It's just crazy forest out here, right? So we got to, you saw I just knocked this hill down and just made it something. I don't even know what. I needed open space around this for the design to work. So I knocked the hills back a ways just because. So maybe I need to put, there's mobs out here everywhere. Mob party zone. So anyway, this could be a path going off. I don't know what's going to go over there. I have no idea what's in the wild. It's wilds out there. That's a pretty standard technique here, you know, putting the barrels at the bases of things. I kind of wanted to go for this sort of pseudo Japanese look, but I ultimately was really just my keyword for this was just modern and still comfy looking. I guess it's kind of an odd one, but I brought over the maps that we currently have. So this is our number one scale map. So I think that's gonna go maybe starting here. Yeah, I don't know. Like that? Sure. And this is like that. Yeah, there we go. So I don't have too many of these yet. I have no idea where this goes. Maybe right there? Yeah, sure. Okay. Maybe that's up there, and this one must go right there. Okay, so I can take a couple more maps. We can fill this in, and then drop in the edges. So that's pretty cool. That's our 1-to-1 scale map system. And then we have the large scale maps, map level 4, and those are going to go here because that's a much sort of taller rectangular sort of setup. Map portal, I'm going to guess it goes there. Let's see, this one must go here. Sure. And where's this? This is the desert, which might go all the way down. I don't know if it goes all the way down there. I know that goes next to that. Yeah, I think it does go all the way down there. So this must go here, and this must go here. So yeah, we are we're standing a little ways away from things, but we can, oh yeah, I don't know. I guess I need to be up a little higher. Maybe I raise these up too high. Anyway, it's kind of cool. We kind of see things and using the banners on here for markers. That's pretty cool. So this I thought would be for a scale level 2. If this is level 1, we could I could do another layer of maps that's at level 2, and this one be level 4. I don't know if I need a level 3, but anyway, that's all right. So yeah, there we go. So I can make some maps to fill in from the back. Yeah, kind of interesting. That even looks cool like that. The larger frame. So it'll end up being a full wall. We won't see any transparency on the edges once it's full. and but it's hidden by leaves and stuff, so that's cool. Yeah, I dig it. I'm pretty happy with this little build here. It's definitely different. It was fun to do something different, and yeah. So I do have the next 2 buildings designed. One for our crazy wizard book guy for the Unbreaking Book villager, librarian, and I have another one designed for, I guess, a farmer. I kind of designed it on the fly, and then I was like, oh, I guess I need a farmer because this is a pretty cool design. So somewhere soon, I'm getting the urge to go do an adventure. I'm getting an urge to go do something dangerous, and I think I've never raided a bastion, so I do have those snapshots of a couple of bastions, and I know where they are in the Nether. So, and one of them is the big one. I believe one of them is the treasure bastion or whatever, the one that has the possibility to have the magma spawners in it. So, not that I don't know. Anyway, it'll be fun to go and raid those. So somewhere in between the next couple of builds, we'll go do something fun. Go do something fun in the Nether. Anyway, okay, guys. So I hope you guys have a good week. I hope everything goes well for you guys, and I hope you have fun playing Minecraft. And I hope you, live to fight another day. All right, guys. Take care, and I will see you soon. See ya.